So the next piece that we have not talked about, which is a very important piece, are the materials. And one of the things we focused on today has been K-8. But really our work is not only on K-8, we're also looking at the high school level. Not only for professional development, though it's a little bit different in what we're looking at. We've done some modeling workshops up in South Bend that we're looking to expand, and some inquiry-based workshops across the state for high school. We also have some materials distribution things that are taking place for high schools, such as the Science Express at Purdue, I can't remember the name of the project at USI. It's not Science Express, it's the van. Science in Motion, thank you. Some work going on up in Valparaiso as well. So there's more to this than just the K-8 piece, but this is really where we're focusing today. When we're looking at materials for these research-based kits, how do we get them refurbished and put back out into the classroom? One of the things we're looking at is an internet system for ordering refills, getting items that may not have been included or extra items you need out to the classroom in a very quick and timely fashion. Also a system that allows teachers to make sure they know exactly when these modules are going to be delivered to their classroom and when their old ones will be picked up. We want a distribution system in each of the 9 regions, or a distribution system that works across those 9 regions, so that these are put out on a regional and local level, drawing upon the assets that are in that region, because every region is different. But they all need to coordinate together to make sure what we're doing across the state is consistent and done well. We need to have a purchasing system in place for consumables. Alabama is looking at having a central purchasing system that then goes off to their 11 regional distribution sites, because it will save them hundreds of thousands of dollars over several years. We want to make sure we do what is the most cost-efficient method in Indiana. We also want to look at rotating the kits among districts so that each district, all the elementary schools or middle schools, are doing the same modules or kits in that district at the same time. But once they're done with them, they'll go out to another district. This makes it much more cost-effective that we're sharing, as Mike was talking about that they did. Sharing makes things more effective. It also helps build a cohort among teachers in your area and your region.
So we are planning to have individual strategy sessions at each of the 9 ESC service regions. I'm going to show you the dates coming up on the next slide. But we're going to come to you with a list of what is needed in your region in order to make this happen, and then work with you to figure out what you already have in place, what we can take advantage of, and determine how we can address the remaining gaps. There's a few components that are necessary across all regions. However, we also want to allow for flexibility depending on where your region is currently. We know that everybody's at a different level and different things are going to work in different areas. So we want to make it easiest for you to implement in your area depending on what your specific needs are. Next slide. This shows the dates for all the regional meetings. You have a form in your program that we're going to work on in about 10 minutes here. And on that form, you can indicate if you're interested in coming to one of these meetings. We need people from all segments. We need business people. We need the ESC, higher ed, districts that want to pilot. Okay, everyone needs to come together and own the solution. We may have too many people than we can accommodate in a specific region, but we will follow up with each of you individually. And if you can't make it, there's also a place on your form to indicate that. Next slide. This is our implementation timeline, and the highlights really are that we'll have these regional meetings in February. We'll set up distribution centers over the summer, and as Brandon spoke about earlier, we'll have professional development in June for trainers and for specialists, and in July for teachers who want to participate in the pilot. The last of the 5 areas that we're touching on is advocacy. This is really important. It takes everybody in this room talking about science and promoting these changes. We really need you to be vocal about pushing for these changes. Change isn't comfortable, and there will be many parents, many administration, even teachers who don't want to change and who are uncomfortable without having a textbook. but we need to continue to push each other and push ourselves. Next slide. Here's some screenshots. IndianaScience.org went live today. All the information from the summit will be on here. You can also, there's a couple features, meet a scientist and meet an industry leader, which will be changing regularly. There's an action center where you can go to see ways that you can get involved and sign up to make commitments. We know there were many people who wanted to come today who weren't able, either it didn't fit into their schedule or we were at capacity and they couldn't get in. Please share this information with them. They'll be able to see everything from the summit and also see how they can make a change. So check that out. Make sure you share it with others. There's also a forum section where you can go and discuss science and ask questions of your peers. So like Sally and Mike commented on how this can be done this morning and also challenged us, we have all the people that we need in this room. We have lots of different segments represented. And this really is our opportunity to take part in changing education for our students. So our children deserve this, and we really can't afford to wait any longer.